You're listening to Living in Spain podcasts with David Wright.
Hello and welcome to another one of my podcast shows. My name's David Wright, and in this podcast I'm going to be talking about the motorbike tests in Spain, specifically the A2 test. Okay, so just a quick background on this. If you've got a car driving license in Spain and you've had that car driving license for more than 3 years, then automatically you can go out and buy a 125cc motorbike without any experience, no license, no test or anything. You can carry passengers on the back, you don't need L plates, and you can drive it on the motorway. That is all with 3 years experience with a normal car driving license. I just want to state here that I have been talking to my driving instructor here, and that is about to change here in Spain in the next year. You will probably have to take a basic motorbike test to do that 125cc as well. More on that in the very near future. Okay, so the A2 test, that is the next one up, and then the one after that is the full motorbike license. That's the A license. That's no restrictions at all. You can drive anything you like. So the next one up from the basic motorbike license is the A2 test. Now that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just about to take the final exam on that in the next couple of weeks. So this is in 3 main parts. After you've had a medical, you need to enroll in a school and go through classes to pass a theory test. Now, this is only done in Spanish at the moment. There is talk that it will be done here in Spain, or it might be able to be done some places in Spain in different languages. But at the moment, you can only do that A2 theory test in Spanish. So I've been waiting and waiting. Finally, I didn't put it off anymore. I just took it. I failed the theory test 3 times here. You're only allowed 2 errors in the questions, and I got 3 errors both times, 3 times, and then the 4th time I finally passed with no errors at all. So it is complicated. You have to know about quad bikes, mopeds, scooters, and all different types of rules and regulations for the road, as you would for a car, but more related to the motorbikes. And it is quite an intense course to go through that, and the exam is done in an official office at Trafico here in the city, and it's under very, very strict conditions with a security guard walking around and everything. Quite a bit of stress on that one. So yeah, it's not an easy exam to pass. So when you pass the theory test, you are then able to go on to the next part of the A2 test, and that is an off track on a circuit, and it's in 2 parts again, and these 2 parts are a slow slalom and a fast slalom course. Now, the slow slalom course is basically going along a straight line, not deviating off of the straight line for about 6 meters, I believe, and then going around some big cones very, very slowly within a circuit distance, and you're not allowed to touch the cones or put your feet down at any time. And then at the end of the circuit, you have to change into second gear really fast, accelerate, and then do an emergency stop in a square at the end of that track. That is the slow slalom part of that test. Then there is a fast slalom test. This is also done in the same place on a track, and you have to go round some cones. First of all, you start off with a manoeuvrability test. You get off the motorbike and you have to park it in an L shape, so you move it around and you back it into a parking space, and then you get onto the motorbike and you drive fast as you can, normally up into second gear quickly, and go around some cones in a straight line, and then at the end you do a full 180 turn and come back, drive through some little chicane area, and then do an emergency stop in a traffic square at the end. This all has to be done within 25 seconds. It sounds pretty easy, but it's quite difficult to do that without touching the cones, and with making sure you stand in the designated emergency stop area. So when you complete those 2 tests, you have to go, this is on the off-track test, you have to go to the driving school, instructor school, and you have to actually sit this in front of an exam. So you do this under exam conditions with an instructor. There's an instructor with a stop sign, they're automatic lights, and when the light goes green, you start off on the motorbike. So it is timed. There is a couple of examiners down the circuit looking to see if you touch the cones or if you put your feet down. If you put your feet down once or you touch a cone, then you're out. You have to stop. That's it at the end of the test. You don't get a chance to go on to the speed test or anything like that. One mistake and you're out. It's very, very strict indeed. I was very surprised how strict it was. Luckily, I managed to pass that first time round, both of them, with no fails, no errors at all. Okay, so then when you pass that, there's the final street test in the car. Now you have an examiner takes you out, and he's following you in a car with headphones set on, telling you to turn left, turn right, and things like that. This is about 45 minutes to test, and if you pass that, then you've got an A2 license, and you can drive that bigger motorbikes up to, I think it's 47 horsepower for 2 years. And after 2 years, it has to be a minimum of 2 years, you can go and do a course. This is just a course with a driving instructor. It's a 9-hour course, and it's done over a couple of days with lectures, a slalom test on a track, and then 4 hours, I believe, in the street as well. So today I've been out, this is my third lesson for the A2 test. I'm having some lessons. You can't take these lessons until you get a date. Once you've got a date for your exam, then you have a license to go out with the instructor on a bigger bike. Now this has to be done on a 400cc or above motorbike. So obviously you can't go out on the street because you haven't got a license to drive bigger bikes. So you have to wait for your test dates. And then when you've got the test dates, you can go out with the instructor with all the full gear on and orange jacket with L plates on. Make sure you're safe, and he's following you out there, giving you directions for these tests. Now I've had 3 lessons. He says to me I'm going to need 3 or 4 more. Hopefully I've got time to get them in. It's a lot more difficult than I thought. It is like a car driving test. If you remember going through a car driving test here, then yeah, you've got to go into traffic. I've done my lessons here in rush hour traffic at the moment, all of the lessons. It's very, very stressful indeed. They're looking to see if you're in the right lane and right positioning, you're stopping at the right lights, give way and stop signs, you're showing and you're observant and indicating at the right place, and just basically following the rules and regulations of the street with in heavy traffic conditions and also lots of pedestrians around. So yeah, it's a bit daunting, and I'm committing lots of errors at the moment, little things which all add up. So things like stopping at a stop sign in the right place, and then pulling forward again and stopping again if there's cars parked, so you're blocking your view. You have to do a double stop here, and it's not just a little stop. You have to stop and count to 3 seconds, and then off you go. Putting the indicator on and off early enough, and cancelling it when you finish changing lanes, things like that. These all add up to points which are going to be deducted and stop you from passing. So yeah, it's a bit daunting, it's a bit stressful through the headphones. All in Spanish, of course, as well, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. So hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, fingers crossed, I've gotten the test. Personally, I think I've got about a 40% chance of passing it, mostly because the instructor at the moment is giving me directions and everything in Spanish, and simple little things like take the next left turn, or do a U-turn, or change directions in Spanish. Obviously I get a little bit confused if he's asking me to turn left or do a complete turn, or change directions, or take the next exit. So you have to really, really listen. Also, they tell you to take the third exit on the roundabout when you can. That often means that the third exit is not available, you can't drive down that lane, or they might say take the next available exit. That's not always the first exit. It could be the third, fourth exit, or there might not be an exit that you can officially take. So you have to do a complete turn on the road. There's bus lanes and things like that. So they say take the move over to the right when you can. You know, if it's a bus lane, things like that. They're looking to see if you're going in the right lane, the wrong lane. One of the errors I did was going down, taking an exit off of a roundabout, and it was a resident area, and the sign up was behind a tree. I could just about see the sign, but I didn't quite understand it. But apparently it's only for going down that street if you've got access to that street. So general public aren't allowed down there, and that would have been a fail for me. So yeah, little things you've got to keep your eyes about you. You've got to follow the rules and regulations, following the speed limits exactly as well. When the traffic is whizzing past you and none of them are paying attention to traffic laws really here in Spain, you've got to be extra careful and alert. And so yeah, it's a little bit difficult. So I'll give myself about a 40% chance on that one, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going like I did when in theory. I was really gutted after not passing the first, second and third time, but fourth time lucky, no errors. So it is worth it in the long run. I know the bike I want to buy. I'm desperate to go and buy the bike. I've sat in it, I've seen it, I've got the money ready, but until I pass that test, I can't go out and buy it. So hopefully it's going to make me a better rider, a safer rider. So it's all worth going through. I'm just trying to keep as much concentration on it as I can, and fingers crossed I hopefully will pass it first go.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at britishexpatsinspain.com.